Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching the first episode of the third season of Young Sheldon. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it's available for free in a link in the description below. Just clicking it, put a password in, and enjoy. So, you know, it's crazy to think that this is the third season. Honestly, we're absolutely flying through it. And, you know, towards the back end of season 2, I feel like we're spreading the load a little bit. You know what I mean? Each character was having a lot of screen time. It wasn't all focused on Sheldon, even though we did end the episode with, you know, Sheldon being disappointed that nobody really turned up to his little session, so to speak. Basically, you know, Dr. Sturgis and him figured out how to use a radio where they can listen long distance, and they was basically wanting to listen to the Nobel Prize winner being, you know, revealed at 5 AM in the morning, and Sheldon done an announcement to the school and basically invited everybody to his house so they could all listen together, and basically nobody showed up. You know, he got his whole garage full of snacks and, you know, breakfast cereal and stuff, and it was just him on his own, and he was upset and he was crying. And the person that he wanted to actually win the Nobel Prize as well didn't win, so again, double upsetting for him. Dr. Sturgis kind of went on a little episode where, you know, he kind of started acting a little bit strange. He wasn't turning up to classes. He was at night time outside doing the grass. You know, Connie went to find him and he was on the roof and he was doing, you know, meditation and all this different things. And basically, you know, do you remember the guy that tried to hit on Connie in front of him and they ended up beefing and fighting? Well, he explained to her that he's had an episode before and he's had treatment, you know, for it. And basically, I wonder if it just triggers, because as she was leading him off the roof, he was basically saying that, you know, it's always been his you know, dream to win the Nobel Prize, and that never happened. But he reckons that Sheldon will win that one day. And obviously, we know, you know, in hindsight, in the future, that we've seen that he actually does win that. However, you know, it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, their relationship and how it progresses forward in this season. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into the first episode of the third season of Young Sheldon.
Some people are just natural-born worriers.
Shelley? Everything okay?
Hunky-dory, why?
Kinda dressed like you kidnapped yourself.
Oh, I'm trying to block out sensory input. Nikola Tesla believed that isolation is where ideas are born.
Just out of curiosity, how isolated was he?
Oh, highly. He found human contact revolting. At the end of his life, he became good friends with a brown pigeon. See ya.
You heard from Dr. Sturgis at all?
You believe the hospital's still holding him for observation? I'm worried about him. I don't know how serious this is. I just thought he was another, you know, cute, quirky egghead like Sheldon. He still thinks he's being treated for mono.
I had to come up with something contagious so he wouldn't want to visit.
Smart.
You get tackled in your own end zone, the other team gets 2 points and the ball. That's called a safety.
Would you like to be rich?
Go away.
Aren't you even a little curious?
Does it involve me giving you money?
Yeah, but then I give you more money back. The card store on Magnolia is going out of business. They're selling these for $1 each. I sell them for $5, and the money rolls in. I don't need your money. I have my own.
Why are we having this conversation?
Because I'd rather lose your money than mine.
To be fair, that actually isn't a bad investment. Like, I thought he was going to try and do it in a pyramid scheme, but, like, I actually don't think that's a bad investment. Like, if you invest $1 in that and you lose it, you've lost $1. Even if you buy 100 of them, do you know what I mean? And you've only sell 50 of them. As long as you sell 50 of them at $2, which is likely, you got your money back. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously $5, if that is the case, which I do feel like that is realistic, then, you know, 500 from 100, you know what I mean? Like, you've made 4 times what you put in. So I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes, I thought about doing this before, you know. Have you ever gone to an outlet? And like, you go into the Nike store or something and they're just selling literally a Nike t-shirt for $10, and I'm like, mate, I'm pretty sure that somebody would buy that for 20. You know, I've always thought, why don't I drop $1,000 on just random shit and then just see how much I could, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm rich, I'm just literally a standard person, but I've mentioned before on the channel that it's like investing in stocks, you know. Instead of having $1,000 sat in the bank, I'd rather put 1,000 in and hope it goes to 1,500. I'm willing to let it go to 500 to see if I can make that profit. And I've always thought about that with reselling as well. You know, people buy and resell stuff, but I also feel like as well is when you do actually go to outlets and stuff, you can get proper good deals. Like, I could go to the outlet Ugg store and buy some Uggs for £30, and I know for a fact Now, people will buy brand new Uggs in a box, unused, with a receipt for 70, 80. It's just the effort of going there and doing it. But, like, people can make big money from that if you've got a lot to buy to reinvest.
I've always felt the world of subatomic particles would make an excellent video game.
Don't look at me. He's your kid.
I feel like she looks like she's slowly getting older.
I'm like snow globes.
I hope so. I don't want them.
I don't want to.
Hey, what have we got here? Complete guide to your child's mental.
Oh, look, that cute little booklet. I'll get that too.
Comes to $55.25.
Can't you do any better?
What do you mean?
You're going out of business and I'm buying them all. Give me a break. 30, 40, 35. Deal. No, wait. 32.
35. Mate, he's still got 50 for 35. It's cheaper than $1 each.
He and Dr. Sturgis have a lot in common, and look what happened.
What, you mean like how he went to...
That could be your son. Here's a question for you. Do you ever see or hear things that other people can't?
Oh, all the time. This is fun. Missy should ride with Dad more often.
Let me try this a different way. Do you ever feel paranoid? Like, just think if I was having these feelings, that might be scary, right?
And this is something that's been concerning you?
A little. But the important thing is that we can always talk about this kind of thing with each other.
Do you have any books on mental health? I believe my mother's unraveling.
One's a good place to start.
Have you read it?
Read it, lived it, made the mistake of talking about it on a date.
What do you want?
I was wondering if you'd like to buy one of the... You didn't even see what I was selling.
Why would I want that?
Well, because it's Texas. And everybody in Texas loves Texas.
I hope you know I'm missing People's Court right now.
But with Christmas coming, this would make an excellent stocking stuffer.
I wasn't thinking back when he was trying to sell them that you couldn't actually advertise on, say, social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can get my phone out now and I could stick it on eBay, or I could stick it on Marketplace, or you can go on Amazon or whatever and just say, selling these for $5, you know, does anyone want? And then you could sell it that way. This one is actually a bit more of an effort. You got to set up and do a pop-up stall or something, or knocking door to door. And then this is where it becomes time is money, for example. Say, if you think that your time is worth $20 an hour, and that's what your salary is at a job, do you know what I mean? So if you was working a 9 to 5 and $20 an hour, you know, knocking on door to door trying to sell them is not worth it. Because if you knock for 3 hours and you sell 10 of them, you might be buzzing because you've just got $50, but you haven't, have you? Because technically you're in the negative because you'd be minus 10 because you spent 3 hours trying to sell 10 globes when your natural wage would have been $60. Do you understand what I mean? So, like, when it becomes a manual task, sometimes time is money, and, you know, you might think that, well, my time is free. Well, it is free, technically. You are correct. However, if you're going to go out there and graft for 3 hours and only come back with less money than you would in, you know, in a normal wage, then no, your time's not free. It's wasted. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sorry I gave you the boot before.
Does that mean you'll buy one now?
No.
I bet your next idea will be great.
They're not silly.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, because you got 50 of them.
Like us making fun of each other. We're family, and this should be a place that is safe where we can talk about anything.
Hello?
Oh, baby. What are you doing up?
Do you have insomnia from anxiety?
What are you anxious about?
Honestly, your mental health.
Me? Why?
I'm preoccupied lately, and you were asking me all those questions in the car.
I'm just worried about your future. And when I see you moving subatomic particles around in the air, that makes me...
Subatomic particles are real. Mom thinks that I'm crazy.
I thought we weren't supposed to say stuff like
that. You know, he made a good point there, didn't he? By basically saying, you know, you talk to an invisible person in the sky. Factually, you know, God, I wouldn't say it's not been proven, but, like, you know, it's not as factual as atoms, subatomic particles, science. You know what I mean? Like, faith is all about having faith and hoping everything that you read and believe is real, and it makes you a better person. Fantastic. However, science, proven factual stuff, is real subatomic particles are. So, like, in that context of Sheldon's conversation there, he was probably more correct than his mum, even though both of them have not got mental problems. They've not really got anything wrong with them. It's just that she's looking at, you know, Dr. Sturgis, who had a little bit of a breakdown, and looking at some of his traits that kind of correlate with Sheldon's and trying to put two and two together to make four, when realistically, you know, it's just everybody's different. And do you know what I mean? Something that could drive me crazy to the edge of boiling point might do nothing towards you. You might not care at all, and each person's their own, isn't it? It's how you deal with it yourself in your own mind.
Mother,
Yes?
is it okay if I use a knife to butter my toast, or are you worried I'll do something crazy with it? My mother believes I'm mentally unstable. And since there's a genetic component and I'm her child, I suppose it's possible.
Hey, look at him. He looks smart now.
I already accepted Jesus in my heart.
No, I'm selling these Texas snow globes. Who doesn't like snow? Sleds and snowball fights.
It snowed hard here once when I was a kid.
That must have been amazing.
It was.
What if that memory was just one shake away?
Fine, I'll take it.
That was actually good, that.
I just don't think it could hurt for us to talk to someone.
We didn't have a carrot for the snowman's nose, so can you believe we used a hot dog?
That must have been a sight. Frank.
2 for 8. There you go. Look at him. He's trying to find dealers now.
She likes it.
Communication is the cornerstone.
I'm behaving no differently than I ever have. Why are you suddenly so worried about me? Maybe it's hormonal. When does menopause typically begin?
Sometimes mothers look for issues with their children so they can feel more needed.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Dr. Sturgis is not in the kind of hospital you think he is. The psychiatric kind.
Why? What's going on?
He was having some issues, but he's getting the help he needs, and I'm sure he's going to be fine. Sheldon, you're my baby. It is my job to worry about you. I can't help it.
And the turtle eating the pizza is Leonardo.
How can you tell?
He's wearing blue.
Dad, remember my silly idea? Guess what? It's snowing.
Do you know what? Fair play to him, honestly. What did he sell there? He sold 2 for 8. I don't know how many sold before he done that 2 for 8. So, like, we're just going to assume that all 50 we sold for 2 for 8, even though it wasn't. But even though, if it was, that meant that his $50 investment, well, actually, he got it for $35, didn't he, really? If you think about it, which was good. It wasn't even $1 per one. It was less than that. He ended up selling, obviously, 2 for 8, which is $200, take his 35 off. Absolutely laughing, isn't it? Honestly. $165 profit. I don't know how long time it's took, but for a kid, it's fantastic stuff, isn't it? Honestly, you feel like you're rich. You see Missy's face on the couch there, and it was raining dollar bills. You know, so I've got to say it's good as well. There's no better motivation than proving somebody wrong as well. You know what I mean? When somebody says you can't do something, motivates you more than ever, isn't it? To push forward and prove them that you're right and they're incorrect. So you love to see it, and I've got to say fair play to him. He was good at his job apparently when he worked at the garage, when he was finding holes in the tires. Remember when he was spinning them round and he could tell? And then we didn't really see anything progress from it there. And this is kind of like the second episode that we're seeing in a different way of his work ethic and going for it. And I liked it, honestly. It was good. And I'm happy for him. Like, he actually, you know, he went out there, he got a few knockbacks. Then he realised, like, this guy and the process and the way it kind of worked for him to get his money. Do you know what I mean? And then he used that approach going forward, and he noticed that with that guy, he offered him 2 and it worked. And he was like, look, if I do these a cut deal, make it sound like 2 for, you know, a cheaper than buying. Do you know what I mean? It just all works out. So fair play to him, happy for him. And obviously he's shown his dad that he can do it, and he's made a good profit. Okay, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But Dr. Sturgis, do you reckon that's his out of the season? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I always feel like it's going to happen, and I always kind of say it, but, like, you know, today's kind of implementation, and maybe, like, they're thinking the longer it goes, the easier it is to just not mention him and bring him back. And I don't really know why we would do that, because, you know, he actually was alright. He's a pretty good recurring character. It brings Connie in it a little bit more. It makes Sheldon a little bit more relevant in terms of science, because he can kind of bounce little things off him here and there. Do you know what I mean? Even listening about the Nobel Prize in the last episode where he kind of had his little struggle, you know, without Dr. Sturgis showing him how to connect it up, then Sheldon wouldn't have been doing that. So then that wouldn't have given him the premise of being able to listen and progress forward. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, just the fact of having John there helps Sheldon in little ways and progresses him in educational wise, and you know, it gives us a bit more scientific stuff as well. And like I said, it also brings Connie into it a little bit more. So I hope that he's not actually gone and he does reoccur in the current season. However, you know, it was interesting, and I kind of understand where Mary was coming from, looking at all the traits that, you know, has potentially led him up into this moment, and looking at the same ones in Sheldon, and you know, being concerned about it and reading books and trying to help him. And obviously, you know, with Sheldon picking up different kind of personality traits and ways that his mum's kind of changing a little bit, even though she's not changing, but to him he can notice it. And now he's read it up, and it's kind of done back and forth, and you know, it made an interesting episode. But you know, this one was about Georgie and proving his dad wrong, and he smashed it, and I'm happy for him. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.